My name is Ben England. I'm the founder and CEO of FDAimports.com and Benjamin L. England and Associates LLC. Did you know that in the United States, most imported food is brought into this country by small businesses? FDA has acknowledged this. The industry has known it. Congress knows it. The United States Customs Service, Customs and Border Protection knows it. That in 2003, FDA estimated that there were about 78,000 companies that were U.S. food importers of food into the United States. And FDA also knew then, and admitted then, that most of those food importers were small businesses. Well, that matters. It matters because on August the 1st of 2011, FDA issued an announcement that they intend to begin to charge what they call reinspection fees for the need when it becomes necessary for FDA to conduct a second inspection or a second examination related to either food facilities that have been inspected where there's a problem related to food safety, or if they have to reinspect or re-examine imported food that where FDA thinks or believes or fears there might be some problem related to the food safety of that imported food. Now, these inspection fees have never been charged before. Companies have been importing food into this country for centuries. It's a part of international trade. In fact, these days, there's very little food that's grown entirely in the United States that's consumed in this country. However, beginning October the 1st, 2011, for the first time, FDA will begin charging fees at $224 per hour of their time that they have to put into the examination or inspection of records or data related to imported shipments or the actual food itself. FDA will begin charging this fee on October the 1st as a reinspection fee. Now, I understand if FDA conducts an inspection of a manufacturer of food and finds a food safety problem, and then they have to go back and re-inspect it, then it makes sense that Congress would require FDA to charge a fee for that second inspection. I get that. I also understand that if someone imports food and FDA finds a problem, they test it, they examine it, there's a problem related to food safety, and then it has to be fixed, that problem has to be fixed, and then FDA has to come back and look at it again, I can understand FDA charging a fee for that. But the way FDA has defined the word examination or inspection in the Federal Register notice that they published on August 1st, 2011, is so broad that the result is probably as much as 80% of food that's ever detained or held up due to some safety concern related to some food safety concern will be probably subject to the fee. And that I don't think Congress intended. But the result is going to be quite expensive. If a small business U.S. food importer brings in a shipment of food and FDA has a fear related to food safety, either because of where it came from or because of some information they've pulled from maybe a third-party source, not even from inspecting the food, FDA can detain that shipment and essentially charge the importer for every hour that the FDA has to spend on that shipment and on that shipment being released to the U.S. market. So if FDA spends about 4 hours, maybe 4 hours on a 2 or 3 week time period in order to evaluate data and eventually release the food, the importer is going to pay about $1,000. That's $1,000 the importer never had to pay before. The importer most likely is not even aware of the fact that they're going to be subject to the fee because the publication of this information has been so poorly done, most people are not even aware of it. So the importer is going to receive an invoice from the federal government saying you owe us $1,000, and the FDA is going to believe it has a statutory obligation to collect. And that's $1,000 that the importer probably doesn't have laying around. And if they had 3 or 4 or 5 shipments come in over a period of a month, that's going to be $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000, assuming it only takes FDA 4 hours to do each one, which is probably not likely. So that's money that the importers are not going to have. And they're going to pass that on to the U.S. consumer, which is going to essentially drive up the cost of food in the United States. So what do you do about this information? We have clients that are U.S. food importers. We have clients that are foreign food manufacturers that sometimes have issues with FDA. FDA has some concerns with respect to the safety of the food that they're either importing or manufacturing. And so we work with them in order to bring FDA around to a position where they agree with us that the food's in fact safe. Well, doing that after October 1 is going to cost more money because FDA is going to charge more money to go through that process. So we're encouraging our clients to go through their systems, go through all their records, and ensure that FDA, there's no information they have that FDA has concern about their product. There's no import alert out there about their foreign facility. FDA hasn't recently collected food and found a problem. Get those situations fixed before October the 1st, 2011. That's the date these fees go into effect. And after that, it's going to become more expensive to fix the problems because the government's going to charge money in order to go over that data. So thanks very much for listening. Please feel free to come to the website. You'll find more information about the fees and also about ways that food companies can correct concerns that FDA might have with respect to the product. The website is FDAimports.com, and thank you very much.